It's December the 31st, 2025. The time has just gone at 22:30 100 hours GMT London. A very good evening. You're watching Wi-Fi Sheep live New Year's Eve. Wi-Fi Sheep is supported by the Minimal Byte, our new quarterly e-newsletter packed with insight, nostalgia, projects and even basic type-in listings. It even has its own real 8-bit kit computer companion, the Minimal Byte 504B. E-newsletter download is available now from just £3.50. Visit theminimalbyte.co.uk for more. Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome back to youtube.com/Wi-Fi Sheep live for New Year's Eve 2025, welcoming in 2026 here live on the channel as we traditionally do each year. So if you're joining me live, thank you so much. Great to have your company once again. Last time we were live doing this was obviously Christmas Eve, where we welcomed in Christmas Day itself. Appreciate those of you that are going to be dropping by, and we'll be picking this back up later. And obviously for each and every one of you that is watching this back on repeat, then obviously you're most welcome. I appreciate people have other places to be come New Year's Eve. I don't, so I'm going to sit here. But, you know, that's fine. So grab yourself a drink. Hope you're well. And, yeah, we'll see what happens as we go forward through this evening. Obviously, Wi-Fi Sheep is only possible, get my words out, Wi-Fi Sheep is only possible through the kind backing of our members, our Patreon and YouTube channel members. There they all are on the screen. We say thank you once again to each and every one of them. You may have seen my shiny new ad for the Minimal Byte. So if you missed the Christmas edition, the Christmas live stream, I have launched a new e-magazine newsletter called The Minimal Byte. So it's a 28-page publication with sort of computing hobbyist electronics and kind of expansion on projects that we cover here on the main channel. If you are a mid-tier supporter on YouTube or are on the general downloads tier on Patreon, I will get my words out, then you already have access to this. You have access to the full edition. If you are a free member on Patreon, there is a preview free version, if you like, which just covers the first sort of intro bit, but doesn't cover the rest of the content. £3.50 GBP, that's British pound sterling. Prices may vary in other currencies and may also vary on other platforms. If you are using Patreon through an iPhone, for the app for an iPhone, for example, I believe the minimum charge is $5. So just bear in mind the price you're seeing there is pound sterling. It will fluctuate if your native currency. So for example, US dollars, it may be a little bit more. Support for this obviously goes back to me and the channel and the projects I'm hoping to do for 2026 and beyond. Quick reminder, if you want to join on Patreon, it's patreon.com/Wi-Fi Sheep. And the prices are staying the same. So there is that mid support tier on YouTube channel members at $2.99. So it's actually a really good deal. So it's mid support base plus, or as base plus rather, with additional content, as you can see there. Right, I got that out of the way. So how are you doing? Great to have your company. I'm just going to have a look in my chat now. There we are. So trolling around. Happy New Year. Can't stop. Okay. K-Op Troy, evening, good evening, and the M67, good evening, and Fuzzy Tubby, hello, hello to you. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Yes, so I don't. Well, those of you that are properly hardcore and are going to stick this out until midnight, mainly those of you actually that are in different time zones. So either Happy New Year to you if you are in 2026 already, or if you're watching from, I suppose, from North America really, or the American continent as a whole. Obviously you're behind us, so here we are. One is, so where we are, K-Optry, one is feeling a little more wobbly than normal. What, you or me? I'm not drinking alcohol, so I'm still on alcohol free stuff at the moment, so no, I'm just wobbly as normal. And you are competing with Jaws. And you're competing with Jaws on BBC4. I am, aren't I? Well, that's that done. I don't know about you, but here in the UK, Christmas TV has been pretty poor this year. Not that I've really had a lot of time, but I've not really been that infused by a lot of what I've seen on the mainstream channels. I've ended up watching like broadcast repeats of Yes Minister from the 80s, and what else did I watch? I think it was like a repeat of a James May, not a Top Gear, but a James May thing. It was on Discovery Channel or something like that. But yeah, no, the TV has been proper dire over Christmas. And Andrew here, greetings. I thought this is who I was referring to. Greetings from 2026. It's 11:35 on the 1st here in New Zealand. Well, greetings from the future. Welcome to the past. Just to clarify, we are on Greenwich Mean Time, GMT 0 at the moment, so we're on London time. Obviously, as I always do for the New Year's, the clock is there ticking in the corner. No doubt by the time we get there, I will be probably behind you a little bit because of a delay. So even if you're watching on GMT time, you'll probably find that it will hit midnight before it hits midnight for me because of a delay. So don't use my ticking clocks there as any kind of timekeeping, because it will be delayed even if it's in real time for me, if that makes sense. Where are we? Key up. Try. I've been watching repeats of Yes Minister. Oh yeah. Yes Minister was on over Christmas. It was, yeah, which is what I watched it and actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually have the DVD box set. I have like the entire of Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister. I've never actually got around to watching all of it, but yeah, when it has been repeated, it's on, I think it was BBC4 was showing it, and that's TV2, one of the national local channels. Yeah, that's TV2. I only have free-to-air television, so over terrestrial aerial. So basically, I just don't see the point of paying for anything because I don't have time to watch TV. So when I do watch TV and it's just utter crud on, I'm just like, right, that's great. So yeah, anyway, yeah, so third bit I want to try and talk about, which I'll no doubt forget to talk about this evening. First of all, I want to say, I don't know if he's watching, but or if he's going to watch on repeat, but friend of the channel, Simon Pryatt, sent me an email a few days ago asking me to, he'd done this scrolling large text banner program which said Wi-Fi Sheep Happy New Year for a ZX81. So you might remember Simon actually donated to me a ZX81, which I've worked on a little bit on the channel, but it's actually been sitting in a box. I've actually got it over here. Let me show you. Jog your memory. By the way, fantastic use for old sponsor boxes. Oop. Yeah, so this was the machine, was kindly donated to me by Simon, and it's a little bit scuffed up. I think, in all honesty, I think this was actually used as a doorstop somehow. But anyway, so here's the insides. Now, you might remember we tested it. This was some time ago, but we did test the board, and I also then replaced the voltage regulator with a new one. Not because there's anything wrong with the voltage regulator, but I was just a bit like, we might change that. And I did try to do some work with the pins, which I added sort of new tinned solder to the pins on the edge connector. And we'll just say good evening to Brian. Thanks for joining us, Brian. We've just been watching pages from Night Owl again. If Night Owl is up and running, I would say, yeah, don't feel free to drop the details of that in the chat. I don't think it'll let you drop in any web addresses though, because I think the spam filter will stop you doing that. But anyway, please feel free, if it's up and running, that is. No, so as I was saying, I did some tinning on these, basically to try and make the RAM expander I bought work more reliably, and I think we made it worse in the end, which was a shame really. It does work, but the keyboard, the membrane was completely shot. You can see how shot it was. So it was my full intention to get this machine up and running again, and I guess demo Simon's code. So I've got here, this was a box of stuff. So I've had this a while, it's not new, but I bought it is new as in that's new, but it's not new for today. Bought a new power supply, and this was the RAM cart. You can actually see it's had like a cable wrapped around it, and that's a tactile plastic. This was the RAM expansion, 16K RAM expansion, which did work, but it was just really unreliable. I mean, I thought that was a relatively good connection, but obviously not. So that was kind of as far as we got. I do have a new membrane, which I won't bother getting out. I do have a new membrane keyboard, and about 2 years ago now, I did pick up some brand new cassette software. And K-Up's just saying it's called Rampack Wobble. I know, that was the problem. So anyway, so I got some, these are new games on cassette tape. So it's all ready to go. And then I suppose Simon, who obviously donated this to me originally, kind of nudging me again, which is fair enough. I have kind of over Christmas, I've bought an internal RAM upgrade. So this is the RAM chip one. So this basically the ZX81 comes with 1K of RAM. It has to share that with everything, including the video. So on its own, the machines were not particularly useful. So basically, this upgrade, which gives it 16K on the board itself, going to need to desolder this chip, and it's probably have to put a socket in, and then it's an adapter that sits pre-soldered in top, and then you have to connect it to 3 of the resistors from memory. So that's one thing I've done. The next thing I've also done is in here. This is the if I can get this off, I might need a screwdriver. This can is the RF modulator, which might not come off. Yeah, so that's the voltage regulator, RF modulator. So these things only outputted an analog RF UHF signal. And the second board I've bought is a little drop-in board that goes inside this can, which converts basically the existing, there we are, the existing RCA jack, and and it converts that from RF to true composite. So we can actually get a straight analog composite signal out. So those are two things that I think will make life a hell of a lot easier. I'm just looking in the chat, which is why I was sort of stopping mid-sentence. Keop saying you shouldn't solder the edge connector. IPA cotton bud would have been a better option. Yeah, now the reason why I did solder it, and I don't disagree with that, but the reason I did solder it is that the metal was so thin and warm, and I was trying to see if I could get a much better, if you like, lock, so it actually wouldn't wobble so much. Probably doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I mean, that'll tin back out, no problem. But yeah, I mean, looking a bit mucky actually. I might, you know, while we're here, I wasn't planning on doing this, but while we're here, I might just try cleaning it up a bit more, because now it's bothering me. But yes, that's the plan for the upgrade for this. Originally I was a bit sort of like, what am I going to do with this case? Because it's not bad, but it's just this scuff where I think it's definitely been used as a doorstop. Just screams doorstop at me. I've decided though I am just going to keep the case as it is, because it is, you know, part of the history of this particular machine. So I am going to fit a new membrane keyboard into this space. This is just a self-adhesive keyboard. There's no tactile anything. It's just literally a flat, solid panel. So that's fine. I'm going to keep the machine as it is. I would like to get it up and running. Let me just... Oh, where is it? Was absolutely not planning of doing any kind of cleaning work today, but it's just bothering me now I'm looking at it. So a little bit of cleaning spirit. This is alcohol-based cleaning spirit, by the way. So Q-tips. Yeah, they were just thin. That was the problem. So, and I used alcohol-free flux, but they're all... Might just be the actual adhesive of the board. It's still filthy. So the only time this might come back to bite me, I suppose, is if I'm going to, I don't know, use a joystick or something. Drink it, Tom. A, I wouldn't. And B, for reasons that I won't bore you with, and I mentioned this over Christmas, I've actually can't drink alcohol at the moment. Not because of any alcohol-related dependency problem, but just because I'm on some medication which is conflicts badly with alcohol, so I'm not allowed to drink at the moment. So I've had a completely dry... I'm going to have a dry January, even though I didn't, you know, it's not, I'm not forced, well, I am forced to do it, but it's not something I'm kind of doing, you know, what's the word? I don't know, it's not an alcohol issue as such, it's just I'm not allowed to consume it because of, you know, conflict with medication, so, if that makes sense. So, but everyone else can drink, so I'm on the alcohol-free stuff. Does Bailey's count? Bailey's is disgusting. Have I ever told you the story about the... oh, God, it must have been about 2 years ago now. And we had this... Anna bought... This is my partner. Bought back this Bailey's, like, chocolate roll log thing for Christmas. And it was... Oh, God, it was revolting. Of course, being revolting, I mean, it was properly, like, sickly, revoltingly bad. It became a challenge to eat it. And I thought, I will not be beaten by this. It's disgusting to eat, but I will eat it. So, and it was just vile, trust me. Yeah. I did win in the end. We sort of actually, Aldi had them back in, Budget Supermarket had them back in stock again. And we were just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just seeing if I've got a... I so did not prepare for this, but I'm just seeing if I've got a glass fibre brush to hand. Probably haven't. Yeah. Oh well, it looks a little bit cleaner anyway. The S67, that Bailey's chocolate log is disgusting. Yeah, I know. it was like, wow, yeah, properly a problem. Anyway, the point I was just trying to make is I haven't been able to run Simon's demo this evening because I was going to run it in an emulator. So I got an emulator on Windows, so I thought I'll just run it straight from the streaming PC. So Simon sent me these in .p or .program.p files. I've since selected the one PC emulator that doesn't actually support them in .p files. It was expecting disk images or memory blocks. I was like, you're kidding me. So I wasn't even able to run it. I was just going to run it in emulator. But I think what we'll do is, obviously, because Simon was kind enough to donate this machine to me, and it's been sitting with me for a couple of years now. So, and I bought the bits. I've got 2 more bits on the way. So we'll, yeah, I'm really regretting soldering that now. Tempted to heat that on, put some solder wick on it. But it seemed a good idea at the time. That's all I'm going to say. 81 emulator works with the files. Well, that's what I've got. Yeah, that's what I've actually physically loaded, was 81, and then I cannot seem to make it work. And I'm like, so just bear with me a minute. Yeah, so I've got 81. This is when I start doing weird things, start crashing stuff, so I do apologise. So I've got 81. Just bear with me. So if we just change that to, there we go. Right. Okay. So that is 81 as in the emulator. And all I see is open tape, load snapshot, load memory block. And I'm like, okay. I mean, a .p file is not a tape, is it? I mean, I could try that. Oh. Okay. Hang on, so it might be happening. That's what threw me. Now run, yes. Yeah. I am pressing run and we're not getting anywhere. Yep, okay. Sorry, just bear with me a minute. Right, hang on. Right. Sorry, what's confusing me is it's got this on-screen keyboard thing, which isn't right. There we go. I haven't seen this one. Look at that. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad we've been able to run that. I couldn't believe I downloaded the one emulator and didn't support P files. I just couldn't, because in my mind a P file isn't a tape file. So it shows I'm a little bit rusty on the emulation. But look at that. He sent me these, I think it was yesterday. How superb is that? That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So thank you so much, Simon. I don't know if you are watching. That is pretty awesome. To be fair, he's been talking to me about this for some time, and I mean like years, sort of talking to me about it. And I think he wanted me to show this on the channel. Originally, he wanted me to have it on like sort of something running behind me, which, you know, not saying we couldn't do that, but I was just a little bit pushed for time. But I'm really pleased we've got this working. So how awesome is that? I like that. That's awesome. Yeah, brilliant. We did something. You know, it had occurred to me I could just like ask the community, how do I run the emulator, because I don't know what I'm doing, clearly. I shouldn't be messing around with my capture setup. I wonder, can we, hang on, I'm going to do something really clever. Trust me on this. Right, there we are. There we go. There we go. Right, we'll do that. There we are. How's that? That's me being super clever and not thinking. Oh, Fuzzy Tub, that is you, Simon, is it? Right, okay. Have yours been called that? Was it something else? That is superb. I really like that. Well, thank you so much, you know, for that. Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, so just back to the machine itself. So yeah, I mean, I can clean those up. It's not a problem to do that, but yeah. I do like these boards, especially some hand-drawn boards of hand-drawn or hand-traced traces. So should be able to get this up and running, and definitely one of the projects for the new year. So I want to go say thank you so much to Simon, or Fuzzy Tubby. I should have put two together and I didn't. But thank you very much, one, for the kind donation of the machine originally. I mean, these things, you know, they go for a little bit of money now. So we'll get one up and running again. That would be superb. Also, you know, original hardware running. And you're saying that you learning Z80 assembling, yeah, on the ZX81 is an ideal machine. Do you know, it probably is. I mean, you know, where is that one? True Z80 process. That's the ROM. That's the RAM, ROM, Z80, and that's the video chip, the ULA. So yeah, we'll get this machine up and running. This will be a future video with all the bits I've acquired, and hopefully we can give these tape games a run as well, which would be nice to do. So let me just put these away somewhere safe. By the way, from the chat earlier, Brian has just said that Night Owl is up and running if you want to head over there. I don't think I've got the Night Owl info slide queued up. I haven't, unfortunately, because I'm on me. I've different profiles for whichever streaming I'm doing, so I've spent about an hour or so trying to set this one up properly for this year because it's sort of missing a load of stuff on it. But yeah, that's brilliant. So move that out the way. I've got to push this because I put so much time and effort into it. So the Minimal Byte, there it is again. So new newsletter magazine that I launched on the 24th of December. there it is. You can go to theminimalbyte.co.uk. So it's a 28-page computer. I'm calling it a newsletter. It's kind of a magazine almost. Hobbyist computing and electronics newsletter, sort of based around the projects and things I'm doing here on Wi-Fi Sheep. It's got additional writing from me. It's got some ghostwriters, and it has one or two directed AI avatars. It's not all AI generated, I must stress that, but obviously I am using pay AI tools to help develop, and that's how I'm able to even produce a magazine on next to no budget and no staff. I will say though, thank you obviously to the ghostwriters and the people that have supported the project, and also for the amazing feedback I've had from those that have actually read it. So mainly our brilliant YouTube channel members and Patreon backers, but I've also had some people purchase it additionally. So you can just purchase it for £3.50. You don't need to sort of subscribe or sort of become a permanent Patreon member. You can just do it as a one-off purchase from Patreon if you want to. And yeah, the response has been really, really good so far. So once again, you know, thank you to everybody for that. Off the back of that, and I showed this last time, but just to recap, this is the proposed kit. And I'll just set that out there quickly. So this is the proposed kit. I've still got to get the boxes labelled up. This will be coming out hopefully in the first quarter. So basically in the new year. For the Minimal Byte 504B, which is a kit computer, 8-bit programmable kit computer, built entirely from the ground up by myself. It differs from Tiny Basic Computers and Project Rio because the basic kernel is developed by myself. It's completely rewritten from the ground up. Basically, I've started again because I kind of felt we hit a ceiling using the basic interpreters that are currently out there. So I thought I just needed to build my own. And this was the result. Completely self-contained 8-bit programmable computer. These will be going on sale probably through eBay in the new year. I've literally got to just get the labels on the boxes. I've got the boards, I've got all the components, everything is here. I've also then got to just finish the download manual. It will come with 20 type-in basic programs that work on this device, as well as a full manual explaining the, you know, how the basic on this works. The interpreter, by the way, is called Zero Basic, and it's written especially for the Minimal Byte 504B. The 504 comes from the amount of available RAM on the system, so it comes with 504 bytes for basic. It's built around the Arduino, well, it's a clone Arduino Nano chip. It's the Atmega 328P. That's a 2K of RAM chip. But by the time you've loaded the basic interpreter and done the full video handlings, it drives its own 1.8-inch OLED display. That's quite heavy on the RAM, so it's a kind of a similar, not to say problem, but similar sort of set of circumstances as the ZX81 and the ZX80 before it had. I think I showed you this last time, so you can just tap in an iVault battery, and there you go, and it will boot to its little basic interpreter, and it blinks away and is happy to run. These can also be tapped through RS-232 serial UART, so you can run them with terminal. We did that in the last video for Christmas, where I showed it running with I showed another version of it. It's actually here. So this was a slightly earlier prototype. Without the OLED screen, you can fit 3 resistors to create a voltage divider, and then you can actually tap voltage and serial, so two-way serial communication, to, in my case, I'm using a Raspberry Pi and running in bare metal mode with Pi GFX terminal running. And that basically means you can unplug a USB keyboard in and run this through HDMI or composite video. So it's great flexibility options, and there will be lots of projects happening. Purchasers of this kit will also get the first issue of the Minimal Byte, will be included as an e-download as well. And the magazine, or the e-newsletter, is kind of designed as well as being a supportive content for Wi-Fi Sheep, it's also going to be obviously a project and supportive content for the Minimal Byte. So, Fuzzy Tubby, yay, they killed the show. We don't need a running commentary on what's happening with Jaws at the moment. But that's good to know. And a feeling they might. Yeah, so that's that. So I'm really excited to be, doing this project. What I have been asked is the magazine going to come out in print format? And I'll kind of try and be very clear about this. So yes and no. So it is designed, it could go to print. It'd be A5 size, 28 pages cover to cover. It's done in CYMK, which is the print colour standard. It could go to print. It would work in print. The reason I haven't gone to print with it is at the moment it's the cost, and you're looking at about £200 per edition to get it printed. It's going to be quarterly, so that's 4 editions a year. If there was sufficient demand or interest, and I could potentially go to a Kickstarter or some sort of other crowdfunding, which I've never done before, and bearing in mind that for this project, including the hardware project and the newsletter magazine, I've just funded it myself. I haven't asked for any additional money. I haven't tried to, crowdfund or anything like that. I've just done it myself to prove it can be done, and it's a real thing that's really here, really ready to go. And that for me was kind of, fireworks, was really, really important, because there's been too many of these sort of technology. I mean, you probably know many, just thinking off the top of your head. There's been too many of these projects that sort of promised so much and then delivered not a lot. A couple of years ago, I was involved in making promotional material for a Kickstarter campaign, or a crowdfunding campaign, I should say, that changed very dramatically from what I was told, what I was paid for, and what I produced in good faith wasn't what this product ended up being. It wasn't my project, but I had no reason to doubt it at that time, but I was a bit disappointed with how that went in the end. So it did produce something, but it wasn't what was advertised or listed. So yeah, but I've never actually tried to do anything myself. But I think before we'd go down that road, I'd need to kind of have an idea that there was sufficient interest to go ahead. At least in the newsletter format, it's relatively inexpensive for me to produce, and it gives something back, especially for those of you in the community that support me. It gives something back effectively. I would say for free, because it's not for free as such, but it gives you additional value for the tiers that you're supporting me on. So that was kind of another idea for it, along with obviously testing the waters with a new kit product, which I'm kind of excited about. So yeah, be interesting to see what happens this coming year, especially with launching an actual retail product, if you like, that you can buy from eBay. Speaking of which, things I've bought off eBay. Oh yeah, right, let me show you this, which I've been meaning to show you for a little while. Been sorting out all my random boxes today. So I've had this. I don't think I've shown it on the channel before. So, or did I show it after Christmas? Did I show you this over Christmas? Do you know what? If I've already shown this, I do apologise. I've got a horrible feeling I've already shown this and I've forgotten. But we'll just show you it again very quickly. So, yeah, I think I have already shown this. This is a 4-bit computer. This is called the TD4. And it's a Chinese clone of a Japanese 4-bit computer system, which uses shift registers as opposed to actual RAM. And you actually toggle in the binary on arrays of dip switches. And it comes as a kit. Again, I think I have already shown this, so apologies for that. I think it's kind of cool. Here is the some of the ICs, mainly shift registers, and those are just the diodes. I think they're Xena diodes. Yeah, so there's quite a few bits that need to go on this. I was mostly hoping it was going to be through hole, but it isn't. There's some surface mount stuff, which is going to be a complete pain to do and to get right. But mostly, apart from that socket, which is the power, and the LEDs. So the entire output of this machine consists of 4 surface mount LEDs, which are those, you can see them where my thumb is there. It's going to be quite a challenging build. That alone is just the dip switches. So I've always, for some random reason that I cannot explain to you, I've always fancied a 4-bit computer system. So this is waiting to be built on the channel, and then once I have built it, and in the hope that it does actually work, what we're quite going to do with it, I have no idea. But hey, it's a journey. So that's coming up as a project here on the channel. So again, apologies, I do think I've already shown this, but I'm excited so you can see it again. There we go, I'll pop that one away. I don't know what I did with the box of that, not sure. That's the problem when I do live streams like this. There's quite a lot of preparation that has to go into doing a live stream, and I'm normally just surrounded with boxes and things that I can kind of just bring up on, on camera, but I've nowhere to put anything. Right, next, I'll show you this one here. So this is some development boards I've had for a little while. I don't think I've ever done anything on the channel with this stuff. Just get some bits out. There we go. Okay. So these are the large 40-pin dip package Atmel industrial microcontrollers. So they're in the what you call the Arduino family. So it's the same family that you get the 328P in, for example, the one we commonly use on the Arduino Nano, Uno, and is what's powering the Minimal Byte. But these are sort of the big, larger scale ICs. You can get the 328P in this form package. In this large 40-pin package. You can also get a microcontroller, which I think has like 1K of RAM or something. Can't remember the code, but basically I've got 2 types of. So I've got the 1284, the Atmel 1284P, and the 644P. And because there isn't actually an Arduino board or product that's designed to take these, and if you want to program them, you do have to build a custom bootloader, which is what this is. So you actually drive it from either an Uno or a Nano, and this board, which I've left in this setup, is specifically done with 16 megahertz clock crystal for the IC, so you can actually flash the bootloader onto the chip. That's just the bootloader, by the way. Then if you actually want to write anything and program these, I bought this, which was a assembled kit, which I did myself a little while ago. I couldn't quite fit a ZIF socket in, so this is a ZIF socket, so you can flip it up, take your IC out, flip that back, no problem. This one is fortunately socketed, so it's not ideal, but you attach a JTAG, it's JTAG, isn't it? Serial interface to one end. I did have that lying around somewhere, and I've put it somewhere, which is not good. Keep things together, and that will then go from pin serial to USB, and that will then treat this as if it was an Arduino microcontroller, so you can actually upload your compiled C code or hex file, whatever you're using, to the actual microcontroller itself. So the reason I'm showing you this is I also bought 2 of these kits. Now these are development boards, kit development boards for either the 1284 or the 644. Luckily, all the Atmel chips basically all run with the same pinout. The 40-pin dips are practically all have the same pinout, so they're all electrically intercompatible with each other. And originally I bought these when I was going to do look at doing a product based around the Project Rio system we were working on. The reason I didn't was the cost, and also the fact, as I've already explained, I wasn't overly confident with the basic interpreter, or how Rio was working wasn't, basically, I don't feel was good enough. So that was them. Obviously I'm now doing a Minimal Byte, which is based at the hobbyist fun contained electronics kit lower end. It's not, as a machine, it's not trying to compete with any of the other kit products on the market. It does its own thing, and that's kind of what's unique about it. However, this would be me attempting, if I did morph this into something, attempting to try and compete with Commander X16 and Aegon Light and all the other sort of things going around, but doing it in kind of my way of trying to do things. Hence the 1284Ps, which have a very generous 16K of RAM on board, which is a lot. Doesn't sound a lot, but it's a lot. Hence why these things are about £5-6, if not a bit more each, which is, just for an IC, is quite expensive. The 644s are a little bit cheaper, but they only have 4K of RAM. But they're still, relatively generous. So my thinking is to look at building a prototype on one of these boards. So I bought 2, and the kit also has, where are we? Get a baggie of bits as well. So I do need to assemble one of these, and maybe start building a prototype for a possible future machine. But don't expect anything, especially don't expect anything in the new, next year. Obviously, my priority at the moment is to focus on supporting the Minimal Byte, but a lot can be learnt from the development of the Minimal Byte and moved forward into this, especially as I plan to base this around the new kernel and the custom proprietary basic that I now have, which I didn't have before, all written in C. Technically you could actually run the Minimal Byte basic and kernel. It would actually run on one of these ICs, so it's possible. And you see I've collected a few. Actually, I don't remember having that many. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have 5. I certainly don't remember having 5, but it's amazing. You buy all these bits and then you forget what you've bought. I don't know if this is a problem you have at home, but you buy all these bits, you forget what you have, and then you're like, what was that again? Why did I do that? So that's a 1284. That's a 16K. That's a 644, right? And then assuming these are actually labelled correctly, that is a 1284. That's a, stop sliding around on me. Can't read that. It's a 644. And that should also be, that's also a 644. Okay. So I've got 3 644s, 2 1284s. So that's probably enough for development work. I have actually looked up on Mouser to see what the price of these are, and you can get them. I think at the time we were kind of still in the height of the chip crisis. You might remember from sort of post-COVID. So the price of these shot up because these are basically our industrial microcontrollers. They're still used in industry products, but they've never really made it into the hobby space, possibly until now, or obviously these bits that you can buy. So yeah, so I've got 2 of these. So one I was going to do for development, and the other one, so they're both identical. It's known as the RCAT 40, by the way. If you want to look it up, RCAT 40 is the name of the development board. So one of them, you know, they sort of instantly to me scream, you know, single board computer, prototype computer. It's quite nice. It has this breadboarding, prototyping area. You've got voltage rails down here, so yeah, it's perfect for obviously for prototyping on. So one I was planning of obviously building the first draft prototype of whatever a future machine might be. The other one I've actually got plans to do something kind of interesting with that, with an existing product that's not mine, but again, something for the channel, possibly for this year. I hope it would be. It's been long enough just hoarding all this stuff. So, yeah. Just put that away. So I'm trying to just keep things neatly in boxes so I know what's what. Oh, there's a loose. There we are. That's a 328p. So that's the kind of 328p in a smaller dip package, but I swear you can get them in larger 40-pin dip packages. Probably put that on some foam really, or at least put it in something that's going to protect it. But let's just spin off the foam. Tell you what we might just do while we're here. Put that in there. There we are. It's quite safe. Oh, that was a wrong button. Glass is empty. Now, so I didn't have to go on break, I brought the cans up with me, so without it blowing up all over the place. Try and do this now without it frothing up. There we go. It's horribly frothy. That didn't quite work. Never mind. Never mind. It was close. Right. By the way, before I forget, and I will forget, so you may have seen that a new video has gone up live. It was released today over on Wi-Fi Sheep Channel 2. Raspberry Pis are falling apart on me. Quick fix and sanity check. So yeah, that was kind of one of those. I needed to get some content on channel 2 because I haven't done anything for 2 for a while. So by the way, if you are watching this and you've not subscribed and supported me over on channel 2, 2.wifisheep.co.uk, that'll take you just through to the YouTube channel, and just click subscribe. Make sure you subscribe over there to Wi-Fi Sheep channel 2. Yeah, the main reason being was, if I go back, just move that out of the way, was I was just going over these Pi boards that had basically sort of failed on me, and the Pi boards I've been collecting. This one was the one that basically doesn't boot up and just is burning hot, and that's a really, really early Pi board. You can tell that by the black connector. So this is the slightly later. These are all Pi 1 originals, by the way. That's the later board, which you can tell by slightly different silkscreen markings, and has a distinctive blue audio, when they used to come with an audio jack separate to the composite video. The Chinese ones have that in black, and they actually will have made in China as opposed to made in the UK on all the later production boards. So yeah, a bit annoyed I broke that one, or that one just failed on me. This one, as you've probably seen in the video if you watched it, this cap lifted. It came off its pad, broke the solder pad there, and actually was starting to lift it was still attached, and it lifted the pad on this side. I was like, blimey, you think like the components are delaminating off the boards. So interestingly, if you take that cap off, it does seem to run perfectly fine, which I think is kind of interesting. So it's not essential to have that capacitor. I think it's just a voltage smoothing cap. But as these things are quite sensitive to low voltages, and also any like dirty power supply or any sort of up and down, in the signal, any noise in the power supply, really did upset the original Raspberry Pis. So it's probably best to have, if it is a smoothing cap, which I imagine being next to the main where the power comes in, it most likely is a smoothing cap. It's good to try and have those in some sort of working order. I've been collecting these mainly for use as cheap, quick terminals. So you've already seen, I've already shown you that one. And I just run it with the Pi GFX terminal, which is what's on all these SD cards. These are just micro SD cards in adapters, because obviously the original Pis. And I was sort of collecting these, one for development. These aren't my preserved. I have a bunch of sort of boxed original Pis that are boxed, which are kind of like my preserved museum pieces. These are my sort of scrappy mess around with boards, really. Oh, excuse me. And their primary use is as video display terminals, which, to be fair, they are really good at doing. Not perfect, but really good. And I do like the fact you have the full-size, easy to plug in composite. There's a lot of time I'm driving these with old analog CRT displays, or you've seen the sort of thing I do on the channel. So it's nice to have that option. Obviously, the Pi Zero, which I've been stockpiling a fair few of those. The Pi Zero is the sort of better modern alternative. Don't know if I should show you my stockpile collection. I'm slightly embarrassed by it, but I could do if you wanted. I think that's all of them. He says, that was what I was looking for. Yeah, so I started to get, probably unnecessarily, a little bit paranoid about availability of Raspberry Pi Zeros, especially as they seem to be limited to, well, the originals, and all I wanted was the original Pi Zero, were limited to one per customer. So what I was doing is whenever I put an order in, mainly with Pi Hut, but when I put an order in, I'd put an order for a Pi, that's the Pi Zero 2. But I'd actually put an order in for a Raspberry Pi Zero when they had them in stock. So I collected a fair few, as you can see. And these would probably make the ideal video terminal. Effectively, it's the same chip, Pi 1 Broadcom ARM chip that's on the Raspberry Pi 1. These by default, you probably already know this, but I'll just go over it again. These by default run at 700 megahertz. On the Raspberry Pi Zeros, it's exactly the same IC, but they're clocked to 1 gigahertz by default. So I think this one has got an SD card in, so I think has this been used as a Pi? One of these is used, it's got an SD card in already, you can see. Yeah, so basically you can use these, as I have, for video terminals, exactly the same. And the nice thing about the Pi 1 original, sorry, the Pi 0 original over Pi 2. So Pi 2, I think, gives you, is it Pi 3 speeds? So you can actually, it's quite a different animal. That's a Pi 2, and that's a Pi 1 original. Now, first of all, Raspberry Pi started doing their own silicon. It's still all ARM, it's still all Broadcom ARM, but they have started doing their own silicon. The issue with the Pi 3, yes, it's a lot more powerful, a lot more fast, you do a lot more with it, and it comes with Bluetooth, Wi-Fi on board as standard, is they took out, see the pins are different here? So they actually took out the composite video, which for me was one of the things I really wanted. I wanted the ability to either have HDMI or composite video, just as you did on the original Pi 1. So that's kind of, I'm trying to remember which goes in which now. So that is for me why I always recommend, where possible, the original Raspberry Pi Zeros. Now the point I was trying to make is I have noticed now that if you buy the 0W, so that's this original board chip but with the Wi-Fi on board, some suppliers like Pyromi will now allow you to buy up to 5 of these at a time. So, but obviously they are more expensive, and that's probably why it's a little more desirable to be allowing them to go in numbers. So that's the kind of alternatives if you are looking for a RS-232 serial terminal. Either go with Pi Zeros if you can get hold of them, or, as I've been, Raspberry Pi 1s, which, yeah, other than the sort of voltage fluttering, have been perfect for this so far. So I do try and pick them up where I can. I think at time of streaming, or time of talking to you live, I've seen these for about £10 to £12, assumed used working. So all these have been bought used. Obviously one I've now fried already, which is slightly disappointing, but I've got another, obviously free here. I think it's one up there somewhere on another rig. He says. Not quite. Nope. Nope. So, sorry, I did wonder if there was one over there. There isn't. But there is one in my. You might remember I had that box. Try and remember it now. When we were doing the Project Rio, and I had a mini ITX case. And you might remember that there was a Raspberry Pi 1 in that case. It's still in there. It was sort of part of the machine, if you like. So it was that was a Mega. It was an Arduino Mega shield board, and that was attached to through the shield and was permanently solder wired to a Raspberry Pi 1 original. And for that one, what I'd done is I'd actually desoldered the USB. I desoldered a lot of things off. I think I took a lot of things off that board to flatten it down. And then I literally, from the pin header, I actually wired in and wired directly across, as opposed to connecting into physical components. So that's the other nice thing you can do with these boards, is you can actually desolder parts and flatten them down, take them right down in profile if you wanted to, and they still work. Detaching USB and detaching unused serial, all sorts. You can strip them right back to just being like bare terminal boards. And that probably, in all fairness, might actually help a bit with power. Not a huge amount, but it would help if it didn't have sort of additional devices it had to drive voltage through. So yeah, I'd still recommend these, especially for sort of what we do in hobbyist and tinkering. If you're not trying to do all the latest, greatest, amazing desktop PC type stuff that Raspberry Pi want you to do, if you actually use these as light hobbyist computing boards, almost treat them like microcontrollers in their own right, especially for driving like HDMI displays or composite video displays, as I am with terminal builds and my own custom builds, I actually think these work really, really well. How are we doing for time? Let's have a quick look. There we are. So we've got another 25 minutes you have to listen to me for. 25 minutes and counting. So if you're just joining me, then a very good evening and Happy New Year to you. A very warm welcome to Wi-Fi Sheep Live, the traditional New Year's live stream that we do every year right here on the channel. And what could be one of the last, if not the last, live streams to come from this venue. For those of you that are regular or were here for Christmas, you're probably already aware that I went and bought a house. I'm not living in the house. The house is a brick shell, which now has heating and lighting and electrics, but literally I've had to have electrics and heating put in, and they came along with a big machine and scored massive chunks of troughs in walls and carved things out through, cut holes in the ceilings and everything. So it's not exactly habitable at the moment. That's what I'm doing New Year's Day. We're going over to the house to strip some wallpaper off. So that's the fun life I lead. So there's a possibility that I might be there this time next year. Saying that, I won't be leaving here officially. It's a complicated setup of basically how I live and what. So this house is my parents' property, but my parents don't live in it at the moment. So that's why I live in it with my partner, and why I've been able to set up this space. This room, by the way, this used to be my bedroom as a child. So this is like the small box room. People are always amazed actually how small this room is. It's 8 foot by 8 foot, probably. Yeah, I said 8 foot, something like that. Yeah, it looks a lot bigger on camera than it is in reality. And people that have visited me in person and have come into this room have gone, "That's astonishingly small." So, Andrew's asking, "Has my new place got space for chickens?" Yes, it has. We do have some land that comes with it. It's like a long strip, so it's a semi-detached brick-built house. So we have a neighbour attached to us. But I have a long strip. I have off-site parking, so I've got a drive parking on the front, and I've got quite a long strip of land on the back. The only slight issue is that I bought a hill, so the land kind of starts to ramp up. I have like a little bit of a patio on the back, and we have a lawn, and literally it like goes up like that, flattens off, and then continues going up. So if you actually walk to the back of my property, I'm almost as high as I am as the roof of the house. And you can just like see over the roof, and you can actually see. Sorry, I'm looking at chat again. So yeah, you can actually sort of, you can see a lot of. It's in Telford, Shropshire, so you can actually see over, sort of looking north. I think we're north facing, so you get some quite substantial height. So yes, I've got space to do some. I'd like to do like the garden farm channel again. I just haven't had time the past 2 years. I've got space for growing stuff, and I've got space. We could take the chickens. I've only got 4 left though, and they're we're in a bird flu lockdown again. Well, every year they are, so they're not allowed out. So they're in a run. So they have like fresh air. So they have a coop and have a run that they can sort of get out, but they can't sort of be let out into the garden or to roam around, which is really quite sad. So that stresses them out at the moment. So, and they're quite elderly, so I don't know if we'll have any left by the time that we move them with me, basically. So I'm just looking at what Simon's saying there. Can you get past the first level of Manic Miner on the ZX before midnight? Do you know what? I'm going to admit something to you. I don't think I've ever played Manic Miner. it is probably a good point for us to actually move on to what else I've got. So you might remember, those of you that were on with me when we hit Christmas, I opened a Christmas present live on the channel from my parents, and it was this. It was the modern retro games of the Spectrum, and I haven't really had time to play with it much because shortly after that Christmas stream, I actually went up to see my parents. So I've been away for a few days. I only came back. When I come back, was it yesterday? Yes, it was yesterday. I came back, basically to do this live stream. So I've been away for a little while. But here is the actual machine itself, a retro. So it doesn't have the Sinclair contract with it, or brand with it, but yeah, it's a really nice thing. Just saying hello to Martin Parker. Hi Tom, just popped on to say the best Happy New Year, fellow watchers. Thank you so much, Martin. Again, many people will just be popping in and out. I appreciate, a lot of other people have other places to be. I don't. And many other of you watching may have already celebrated if you're in different parts of the world. So yeah, so we can actually power this up. So it just takes USB-C power, HDMI, and if I power that up, there's a little power button on the back. It is a very nice thing, this. So let's see if that's going to play. Oh, there we go. Now I have had to turn off, hopefully it hasn't come back on, no. I have had to turn off the menu music because on a lot of these retro games products, the menu is actually, the menu music is actually copyrighted. So you actually get a strike. And I have had this happen to me before with the C64. Right, so you've got, basically this is kind of designed to work with the keyboard as opposed to needing a joystick plugged in, which is different from most retro games products. So you've got these arrow keys here which do work, luckily. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. So is Manic Miner, was that even a packing game on this? That's probably a really stupid question. It must be. Oh, there we are. Manic Miner. Absolute classic. So I'll just hit M to start the game. Now, hopefully I've balanced this, that you can hear the audio and hear me. I can't hear the audio of the game, by the way, so you're hearing someone on stream that I can't hear. So press enter to start. Oh, right, we're straight in. X is jump. M is jump. N is also jump. Okay, right. Oh yeah, W. Strange. Right. Okay. By the way, obviously you're going to hear. Right. And that kills you. Okay. I have generally never played this game before. Oh come on. So one thing I will say about the ZX Spectrum, mainly as a BBC Micro person myself, is, oh blimey, hang on, is the games are, what? The games are quirky and very British in a way you don't get with other systems or platforms, you know. And as we all know, my God, people did actually write a lot of software for this because this machine was relatively cheap, accessible. Well, obviously you paid for that with oh no. You paid for that in sort of lack of right. Okay. Oh. What? Why did you suggest this game? Okay. By the way, you will start to hear a lot of fireworks. You say I can do it. I can figure out where to... Hang on. Right. Okay. And before midnight. There's no way I'm going to do this in the next... If you'd suggested this one, you know, at 10:30 when we started... I might have stood a chance. There is. I'm just going to warn you now. There is a possibility I might have to go and solve the dog. Because obviously she's not too bad, but she can be a little bit nervous. So. Oh what? Oh my! This game is awful. How you doing, Peter? Happy New Year to you. I've gone to the dark side, Peter. I'm playing ZX Spectrum games. It's happened. Should have stuck to 6502. BBC Micro would have been fine. Right. I suppose I can jump over that, can't I? Hang on. Oh, this is awful. Right. Oh, what? No! How on earth do you get... Okay, right. Not getting stressed. Again, just to clarify, I am not... I've never ever played this game before, so I know of it. Obviously, I know, you know, it's a considered an absolute classic. Just in the trying to read the chat at the same time. Peach just saying I think there definitely was the BBC Micro version. But obviously, this is the original. It originated on the ZX Spectrum. I've actually been downloading a lot of images and stuff off sort of software on. No one celebrates until the first level is done. Well, if I'm not careful, we're going to miss midnight here because I'm going to be so distracted with this. Right, hang on, we've made some progress. Oh my goodness, right. Right, what's going to kill me now? Oh, you... Damn it! Oh, God. This is... Oh my goodness. I mean, I was intending on playing some games this evening, but... Is this how I'm starting my new year? Utterly frustrated with this. Bing. Right. Can I play something else? Oh dear, that is utterly frustrating. The point I was going to try and make, I'll try again in a minute, but the point I was trying to make there was I have actually downloaded some software that versions of games that I've enjoyed playing or seen on things like the BBC Micro or the C64. I've downloaded the ZX Spectrum versions rather, basically just to see kind of, as a comparison, to see what they are. But yeah, and breathe and take a swig of drink. By the way, I should say at this point, if you haven't done so already, please do consider liking and subscribing to me here on Wi-Fi Sheep Tech. It really does help the channel. And obviously for each and every one of you that does tend to go through liking the videos I put out, I really do appreciate it. So thank you very much for that. Just looking at what Peter's saying. Let's start 2026 as we mean to go on, swearing lots at computer games. This is awful. This is... How on earth? I can see why this was considered a classic and a hit, because it really does... It plays well, if that makes sense. Right. Okay, so we're learning. We've learnt some things. Oh, there is a pause button. I unpause. There we go. Right. Just find my... Okay. Nope. Right. Okay. She needs to sort of... Oh! Right. I mean, can't we just play Minecraft and be done with it? Oh, what? Okay. So, I have to sort of jump. You have to time that almost like beyond perfect, if that makes sense. Like that. Okay. Oh, you absolute... Why did you suggest this, Simon? Why? Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Oh. Jump early on the last one. Oh, God, this is... I was just wondering if I could be really clever and pick up... Okay, right. Oh, no. Right, that was silly. Damn it. I can hear... I don't know about where you are, but I can hear the fireworks beginning to build up outside, so... Got 4 minutes to go, by the way. Oh. And it needs to take you right back to the start again. No. Yes. Oh, what? I'm trying to... Oh. Yeah. Earlier. What a frustrating game. That's all I'm going to say to that. Yeah, we'll come back to that possibly in a minute. If I... I might need to take a short break just after midnight, just to compose myself, but also go in there console the dog if she gets a bit worried with all the fireworks, which could be a thing. So hope you can excuse me for a few moments if I do need to go. Yeah, so we've got the final 2 minutes of 2025 right here on Wi-Fi Sheep. If you're joining me live for New Year's, then thank you so much for doing so, and a few of you actually are, so it's going to be brilliant. Yeah, so it's going to be a very interesting year. As I said, with the move, well, potential to move to my new house, so setting up of a new Wi-Fi Sheep studio. Not sure where we'll be coming from next year. We could still be back here, possibly, as I won't be leaving here in all, entirety. But yeah, and there's sort of lots of projects. Especially I want to sort of focus on custom electronics build, computing builds, and also catching up on a lot of projects that I haven't had time to do. So things like the ZX81, got some PC projects. We've still got a BBC Model B issue 7, which I want to fit with a BBS. So, there's lots of things I want to do and projects coming up here on the channel, and it'd be great to share those with you. And we're coming up to the final 10 seconds. Should we count down together? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. I should have poured a drink there. A very, very happy new year to you for 2026, right here on youtube.com/Wi-Fi sheep. I don't know if you can hear the fireworks going off in the background, so I might have to go down and see if the dog's all right in a minute. But yeah, no, it's been fantastic, and lots planned, as I said, for this year, especially with the launch of the Minimal Byte newsletter, the Minimal Byte 504B kit computer. The projects I've already talked about. So yeah, it's a lot going on. I'm going to take just a short break now because I need to go and check the dog's all right. So allow everyone to go and charge your glasses, and I'll be right back. So in the meantime, I'll leave you. Sorry, I put this lamp still right where I need to see my controls, and I can't. There we are. I shall leave you with some pages from Night Owl, and I'll be right back very shortly. We're back. Come on, say hello. Come on, say hello. I've had to bring her up. She's not really allowed up, so come on. Yes, she's thinking, what's going on? Why am I now going to chuck everything all over the floor? So, no, but you're not drinking the Guinness. That would be bad. Come on, Bella. Come on. No? No, she's off. Right, sorry about that. I've just let the dog, not going in there. Don't usually let the dog upstairs, but I just thought I'll just bring the dog upstairs because then she'll be slightly less panicky. She was all right, but you could tell she's a bit worried because obviously dogs don't like fireworks. So yeah, and now she's there trying to drink alcohol-free Guinness. Which, what have you got now? Come on. Are we going to do a live stream? Are we just going to? I would move the camera, but last time I moved it, we lost connection. You can see all the crap on the floor now. And this is this thing that keeps getting in my way. Bella! Bobo. Ella, come on. People want to see you. There we are. There's a good girl. People want to see you. Oh. No. And I've done it again. So I moved that camera. It's got must have a loose connection in it, and it freezes, which is not good. And then you go, oh, I broke the camera. See if I can reset that. Just bear with me a minute. There we go. It's fine again. So it must be a loose connection in that camera. But hey, what are you doing? Tripping over everything. Yes. Aren't you going to say hello? Going to say hello? This is what I mean. There's not enough room to have a dog in here. So hey, thank you. I found the cookies I brought up. So you found the cookies? Yes. There we go. Right, let's put this back together now. There we go. That was an adventure. Yeah, sorry about that. So, I think the dog will be alright, but I'll have to go and I'll take it down. Once it's settled down, I'll take it back downstairs. So, right, where were we? Oh. Let's try this again. So, thank you, by the way, to all the messages for New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Nope, that's jump. Find my keys again. Where's my keys gone? There we are. Right. Dog's thinking, why are you allowing me up here? I'm never allowed up here. I'm going to put you back downstairs in a minute. Nope, oh, I forgot you walk on that one. She was quite good earlier on, a few fireworks going off. She was quite happy going on a walk. So, Ella, will you stop dismantling everything? Thank you. It's very difficult to do this with a dog dismantling everything. Oh, thanks, pal. You're just tipping all the boxes over now. As I said, I did have stuff everywhere, so... Oh dear. Right, are you going to settle? Cheat code is above. Yes, thank you for that. You're going to settle now. You going to settle? Hmm? Hey? Yes, I know there's not a lot of room in here. No. Bella. Never work with children or animals. Oh dear. Yeah, okay, right. She's just not a landing. Oh dear. Anyway, yeah. Back to the if we can, back to the spectrum. So I'm going to hit the button on the back. And yeah, you know, it's quite a good little box really. I have got here. It's just a standard USB, fat format USB joystick. By the way, it's USB, but quite a few USB on this, more than I think you'd ever actually need, unless I'm missing something. But if I just share with you, so if I put a USB stick in and we just go, oh there we are, it pops up actually in the carousel. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Hang on. As I said, it pops up in the carousel, and then we can start game. Obviously, I've got a few more things on here, including Simon's ZX81 demos. But if we go in Spectrum, and I've been downloading quite a fair bit of stuff, to be fair. I've got Arkanoid, which I've always struggled to play on any platform. I struggle to play now. What's interesting is if you go select, and then you can go space, you can actually set up various settings. So we can select that, and then we go close, and then if we go enter, that should possibly work. Yes, there we go. I don't know what the keys are for this, by the way. So I've played this on the BBC Micro, I've played this on C64. Oh, hang on, how do I go back the other way? Right, it's like, it seems to go one way. The dog's back, as you can imagine. But it does run, you know, ZX81 tape software and ROMs. Why does that go so fast? I was never any good at this game at the best of times. Oh, do we have to do that again? Can I skip? Okay. I played the port of this on the VIC-20 as well, I think, which was quite surprising. I got this to work on the VIC-20. Why does it go so fast one way, not fast? Come on. What? I was... Yeah. Anyway, you get the idea of that. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of mileage in this, just as a game box, really, to run the various titles, the inbuilt titles, which are there on screen, and also, you know, software that you can add. You can also save states to things, which is quite good as well. So, nope. No, don't want to do that. I'm not, a lot of this stuff, I've got to be honest with you, I'm not familiar with. But there's a fair bit on here. School Days is something one of the very first ZX Spectrum games I ever played was School Days. And I know it was bundled on the C64. Dog's back again. Again, the controls of these things is confusing to say the least, because again, this is all before my time. But yeah, it's well worth it as an actual product. I said I don't know if I would have gone and bought one of these had I not been gifted it, but yeah, it's a nice thing to have, and it's fun, which I think is the main thing. So it's not a pure Spectrum. Obviously, it's an ARM emulator box. It's running Fuse, I think, is the emulator it uses. So it's a Linux kernel on an ARM architecture, probably an all-winner. All the others were all-winner ARM architecture. Soft layer of Linux on top, and then it has the sort of this interface. and the games boot using I think it is Fuse, the emulator, as opposed to Vice on the C64. Right, well, I think I'm going to possibly call it. I know I said past, but I'm going to call it a little bit early this evening, just because I probably need to go and persuade the dog to go back downstairs. So I think we might leave things there for this evening. So thank you once again to everybody for joining me this evening. If you haven't done so already, please do consider liking and subscribing. Thank you once again to Simon Pryatt for the brilliant little ZX81 New Year's Wi-Fi. That's the dog knocking the table. New Year's Wi-Fi sheet. Video running in the top corner. Thank you, Bella. I'll deal with you in a minute. Thank you all, obviously, once again for your company, and we'll do this all again. One last thing I did want to point out just very quickly is I am considering doing a new semi-regular live stream. It won't be 8 till late because I can't commit the weekends at the moment. So I am thinking about doing perhaps a smaller, lower key live stream, possibly midweek on a Wednesday evening over on channel 2. So I will keep you updated on what that might look like, but it will be kind of semi-irregular. Won't be as scheduled as 8 till 8, but it might only be for an hour or something. But I would like to get back to doing a kind of semi-regular live stream. So if you haven't done already, it's another excuse to go over to 2.wifi-sheep.co.uk. Go and subscribe to Wi-Fi Sheep channel 2 if you haven't done already. Right here on the main channel, with dogs whining away in the background, we've come to the end of our live stream and the end of New Year's for 2025-2026. A very happy New Year to you all again. All the best for 2026. The time has just gone 18 minutes past midnight here in the UK GMT time. Good luck, America, with your New Year's celebrations. You've still got that to come. For everyone else, time to get some sleep. From me, Tom Williamson, and everyone, including Bella the dog, here at Wi-Fi Sheep headquarters in Shropshire, thank you so much for your company, and a very good night.